fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You the chop line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What people do in no money, what they at you, in no at you. Covid money, miss away in the your little rat you. Use the youth, them money, waste a must have man to statue. Send me like a catch you, but they got in a figure you. Take this spit of money, God and say that it's not you. One day the man above end up him, I got a bed. Too much it in the kitchen, some fly by like a patu. My singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me
300% free.
It burn me
Garbage pile of the day.
It burn me
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me
I see corruption face.
It burn me
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You the chop line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
Come me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The 100 the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in a whatever. Member bowl only and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me
Or they treat the market man.
It burn me
Or them a treat the cat man.
It burn me
Or they treat the peanut man.
It burn me
Or them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me
Or them a treat the sound man.
It burn me
Or them a treat policeman.
It burn me
How them a treat soldier man.
It burn me
How them a treat everyone.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again.
Stevie dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no keep. And some informer friend we love like. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining the Global TV group. We are in studio. We're not in a park, we are in studio. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Good evening to my community party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers and subscribers, YouTube, Facebook, X. Good evening and welcome. Beat and Teach, Wagwan, Natalia Freeman, Pamela Akola, Debbie Jervis, RJ, Yvonne Riley, Gloria Morris, Real Sweet Loris Beckford. Good evening, Beulah. How are you? Marcia Thomas. How are you all doing? Sunshine, how are you? Michelle Lewis Wilson's got gift. Beat and Teach, Natalia. Honor the Norman Ferguson. Understand call Spice to me, but tell her that it's not about any war. We just have some questions to ask. Elaine Turner, JP, Rosemary Samuels, Sharon Bernard, Yvonne Johnson, Ebenezer Cody. Good evening. Janet Riley, Marcia Hawthorne, Monica Hawthorne rather. Good evening, Joan Bailey. Good evening, Lilith Foster. Good evening, Kate M. Christine Gilbert. Millicent Jones, Don Fox, Sharon Powell, Carla Williams, Kevin Davis, Ransford McLean, Sonia Smichael. Good evening. Yes, good evening all and welcome. Thank you for joining us. I hope I haven't missed anyone. Whose property is the question we're asking Spice. The idea. Good evening, Miss Grace Hamilton. May I make it quite categorically clear that my argument tonight has nothing at all to do with the social media circus, nor the furor that's going on around you. Even though my question will be regarding 2085, your new song, which is causing controversy amongst you and social media others. That's beside. I am not. Hear how me done snow. Hear how me done snow real sweet. When I forgot tell me what hump day mean. I don't know. Is it a US? Is it a US holiday or recognized or celebrated day? I don't know. I don't know if I've ever heard it before. I'm sorry, me don't like that. Are you guys tuning to Ratigan? Last night. Yes, last night. I was tuning last night. Yes, I slept away, but I listened a lot of the information that guy put out. But yes, I was there. There was a lot of important information from that guy last night, the one who came on first. Oh, it's a US slang. Okay. So it's nothing to do with what is going on, but it's regarding Grace's new song. The idea for how long, Miss Hamilton, have you written this song? And if it was written post, say 2 weeks ago, the hook of the song, how did you come up with the hook? I'm not going to play Grace's song on here, Millie McBean, because I don't want nobody strike me. But it's on YouTube. One you can listen. It's called 2085. But the question is, the idea, is there any plagiarism here? Is there any paraphrasing here? Should anyone be, what you call the word in academia? Giving credit. Should credit be given to anyone for either the theme, the wording, the hook of the song, something? I'm going to bring up on screen for you. The singer is called Alpha, but his Alpha is spelled differently from how Alpha would be spelled. The music is on Spotify. His Alpha is spelled ALFAA. The music, Miss Hamilton, was published on Spotify around 2018 and was published by Cargo and Francine. Chanel Williams, Lilith Lockerbie. Tonight, Gray, how are you? Verona Shaw. But further to that, Sheena Kelly, how you do? Miss Hamilton. Alpha reposted the song on TikTok about 2 weeks ago. And within about 48 hours after reposting the song on TikTok, Alpha racked up about 4,000 views, James. Could you have been one of those people, Miss Hamilton, that viewed the song, that gave a hook to your song that was probably already written, but you didn't get the hook for it, Miss Hamilton? Could there be any ideas, gripping, paraphrasing? Could there be an issue, Miss Hamilton, of intellectual property dispute is my question. Let me play for you a little clip of, for those of you who might have heard Spice song, given the furore over social media. But I'm going to play for you a bit from what Alpha put out on TikTok about 2 weeks ago. And ironically, after his post 2 weeks ago, within the last 5 to 3 days, Spice published something which raised intellectual property concern. Help me to listen if you have heard Spice song. If you haven't, Spice song is over on YouTube 2085. Dorothy Elias.
Alpha, chatty mouth. We now want them bow ya. See, I'm blind, hear and deaf. When you see people business, if you feel left, sometimes some of them get with so vex. In my biz, you want stress. It's my biz, come mind your own. It's my biz, so mind your own. It's my business. It's my business. It's my business. Go mind your own. Listen to my lyrics from Alpha. For them nuff like water. And people business them can't come out. Go mind your mother and father. Brother and sister, your son and your daughter. Go mind gold, copper and silver. Mind coal. Mind your own business, make people prosper. It's my biz, go mind your own. It's my biz, so mind your own. It's my business. It's my business. It's my business. Go mind your own. If you come for me yard on a Sunday, Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, me a cook get a steak for me picnic. No left and go chat. Me a closet no empty. You're too nosy. Then go and broke your celly. Everything that you see, you want to take it and not tell it. Like a dog knows everything you smell. Give her your mouth. It's my biz, come mind your own.
Angela 48349, how are you doing? But if you have not listened to Grace Hamilton's 2085, listen to that and tell me if there is any intellectual property concern in relation to whether it be ideas or the hook of the song? Those are my questions to Spice. It's nothing to do with what is going on social media. The question is purely about intellectual property. How long have you written the song? And if you had the song written for a while, when did you come up with the idea for the hook of the song? The "it's my business, may I mind my business." Is there any plagiarism in ideas or paraphrasing ideas? Just asking. If challenged in intellectual property law, are you confident that you will maintain the rights? I'm just asking. Those are the questions. And if listening to Alpha's My Business, whether be on Spotify or which was posted recently on TikTok 2 weeks ago, if the idea came from there, shouldn't you have given credit to Alpha in your music? Just asking. Just asking. So please, don't attack me. It's not about entertainment. It's not about dispute. It's about intellectual property rights or law. Vernon Adams. So, I them question there. Me did want to ask Spice tonight, and me know nobody, but I hope you could answer the question as to, is there any intellectual property rights concern with regards to your latest release? I'm sure it would have rung a bell into people like Cargo's Francine, Alpha, and people who are aware of Alpha's song and understand how the hook or thing work in music, or how people bounce idea off each other. But Alpha's song is on Spotify. He also reposted on his TikTok page, as well as Spice song, Ladybug, how are you? As well as Spice song under the title 2085 is on YouTube. So if you're confused as to what I'm saying, you can listen to both and see if there's any similarity in hook or idea in the song. So me just hope Spice me can answer them question there. Darth Elliott, how are you? Dorothy White, how are you? Of recent, we know the Samoa argument is becoming more and more. Jamaica now sign way to hedonism. But some information came across me today which I wasn't aware of. I don't know if any of you are aware of this information. But I'm going to play it for you. And then I just have a few, simple questions to ask the Jamaican people. Only a few. And also, I'm going to try today, Wednesday. I'm going to try and reach out to Dr. John Lennon tomorrow to see if I bring him in for an interview. There is an issue that Dr. John Lennon and Zara Burton is investigating with regards to Ian Fleming Airport. Calm me down in the reading mood, rather than me sit down and read the article, because there's two recent articles, one written by Dr. Lennon and the other written by Zara Burton. I will put those two articles in my tomorrow's show. But I'm also going to try to get Dr. Lennon for an interview before the week ends, so Dr. Lennon can explain to you all, Miranda Raddock, what the issue is at John Lennon and the investigation they are pursuing, or which they are of the view Integrity Commission should, even though Integrity Commission isn't sure if they should or what they should do. So I'm going to try and get Dr. Lennon to come explain it to you, because me don't in the reading mood to sit down and read them two articles, but I think he would be, rather him or Zara Burton would be the best person to come and explain that to you. So I'm going to try to get him on before the week ends. Navlet Blake, how are you? But let's listen to this and see how our politician or government sold us out. And this is not just about the Jamaica Labour Party. The opposition is a part of government. And the question to Mark Golden before we even play this recording is, yes, we know the government may not need consensus from you to sign up to some of these things that they're signing up to. But can you commit to the Jamaican people that a lot of these antichrist deals that this government is signing, can you promise the Jamaica people that anything contravenes the Jamaican culture, if you are elected 2025, you will pull Jamaica out of anything that contravenes our culture? Let's listen to this, and then on the other side, we ask Jamaica people a couple questions.
The following is a special news item from the TBC Newsroom in collaboration with the Freedom Come Reign newspaper. Canadian-funded project promoting LGBTQI agenda targeting Jamaican teens. A Canadian-funded project currently underway to teach children about so-called sexual and reproductive health rights has sparked the concern of Christians locally. Advocacy officer at the Jamaica Coalition for a Healthy Society, Philippa Davies, is amongst those who have accused the Jamaican government of exposing the nation's children to perverse ideas in exchange for money from the secular North American country. The Jamaican government had received $1.1 billion in November 2022 to finance two projects, one of which is to advance sexual and reproductive health and human rights in Jamaica. A little over half of the funding was allocated to implement the Strengthening Access, Inclusion, and Leadership for Sexual and Reproductive Health and Rights in Jamaica, SAIL SRHR project, over a 5-year period from 2022 to 2027. The project is targeted primarily at adolescents.
What do we understand the term sexual and reproductive health and rights to mean? It means abortion. It means advocating and teaching LGBT ideology in schools. It means confusing children as to what their real human identity is. It means saying to children that sexual feelings ranks higher than what biology and anatomy says.
That was Advocacy Officer at the Jamaica Coalition for a Healthy Society, Philippa Davies. The High Commission of Canada in Jamaica has made it clear that its team is committed to advancing the rights of the LGBTI community in Jamaica. One of the organizations that is carrying out the project is the Caribbean Vulnerable Communities, CVC, whose executive director, Ivan Cruikshank, is also the chairperson for the board of directors for J-Flag, a homosexual lobby group that advocates for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender LGBT people in Jamaica. The CVC was the organization that funded Jamaicans for Justice in efforts to introduce unauthorized sex education material in 6 privately run children's homes in 2014. The content prompted public outcry and condemnation from several groups in the island, as it was deemed to promote the gay agenda and material not fit for children. The scandal resulted in investigations being launched by several state agencies, including the Police High Command, and the resignation of former Executive Director, Dr. Carlin Gomes, from the Jamaicans for Justice Board. Davies said the ideologies that influences Canadian laws and policies are not hidden.
The people of Jamaica should feel betrayed and angry that their government is forming partnership with a country whose public policies regarding sex and sexuality are clearly diabolical. This government is putting the health and human flourishing of future generations of Jamaican citizens on the auction block in exchange for Canadian dollars. Just look at Canadian law and policy to see where Jamaica is likely to end up if we continue along this path. Nihilism, sexual anarchy, abortion on demand, and euthanasia. This is what? This is about fundamental freedoms being suppressed in order to advance deviance and gender confusion.
Several of the adolescents who benefited from a recent CVC training session gave a verbal commitment to share with their peers the teachings from the project. Davies noted that in Canada, some parents are choosing to send their children to private schools to shield them from the illogical ideologies being promoted in that country to confuse children.
It is unconscionable that these persons insist that their beliefs be tied to aid in other countries. And it is tragic that our government ministers would not inform themselves or blind themselves to what is happening into Canada, and for the love of money want to bring into Jamaican space, Jamaican school, Jamaican communities, this kind of illogical ideology that is wreaking havoc in the Canadian society.
Among those who were present for the announcement of the $1.1 billion funding from Canada was Jamaica's Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports, Olivia Grange, and then State Minister in that office, Orlando Terrelong. Also present were Gillette Cuthbert-Flynn, who at the time was the State Minister in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and Casey Carr, Chief Executive Officer of the National Parenting Support Commission, who represented the Ministry of Education and Youth at the launch. Davies stated that the focus on sexual and reproductive health rights is part of efforts to undermine and remove parental rights and make children more accessible to pedophiles.
So if you move parents out of the way, parents who are the filter and the first protectors, if the state is removing parents out of the way, you're making vulnerable children who are still immature in their mental and emotional development and physical development open and accessible to pedophiles. That is state policy in Canada. And Jamaican politicians want to replicate that here. Jamaican parents need to be aware and they need to speak up and to say, not on our watch, not in our country. We will not allow our government, for the love of money, to create this access to our children and make them vulnerable to pedophiles. Are these Jamaican politicians who are supporting the implementation of this program happy to sell out Jamaican children for money?
That was Advocacy Officer at the Jamaica Coalition for a Healthy Society, Philippa Davies. See more details in the Freedom Come Rain on this developing story. I am Tamika Price Henry. Keep it locked to TBC Radio, the breath of change.
So now sister, we never on the action block. We now sister, we never on the action block. Is it not? Them put way up 50th. And who are they targeting? The younger generation, because subliminally and otherwise through their education system, when you change the mind of the younger generation, you're changing culture indefinitely, because you're eroding what was the norm and implement antichristism. The question is to Mark Golden, if you become leader in 2025, will you pull us out of these antichrist policies? Or is it that this is not an attack on your culture, but in the European culture and mindset, that not really bad out? Is that the stance you will be taking? Or will Mark Golden seek to protect the Jamaican culture? Is the question. To the people of Jamaica, particularly to you who are parents, Stronger Together, Arlene Foster, Kate M. Everybody, who else? Dan Fox. Sean, how are you? To the people of Jamaica, I have very simple questions to ask. Not a lot. Sean L. Williams, not a lot. Number one, two, hold on, I play deaf ears. The other night I raised an issue about the agenda of gender neutrality. How I think, from my long shot lens, how dangerous this gender neutrality is for women's elevation to the boardroom. Everyone agree? Because upon the equality of gender in the boardroom, when institution put a tough calf, broad shoulder, man in wig, skirt, and heels in the boardroom and want to statistically tells you that we got equal amount of women and equal amount of men in the boardroom. Equality of the sexes, even though the whole gender neutrality. You see how this affects women, given the struggle women have whether it be in public or private sector, to get to the boardroom level because of pregnancy and maternity. Can you see how dangerous this would be, where legally and statistically, as the law is within Europe and North America, you won't be able to argue that there's not equality of the genders at the boardroom? That is one of the danger that I see in the rear view mirror for women. But to you, the people of Jamaica, in particular to this, and to parent globally, are you going to just accept this agenda? The question is, will you stand up for something, or will you just fall for anything? Violet Watson, how you do? That is simply my question tonight. Me not go preach nor nothing. Will you stand up for something, or will you just fall for anything? Do you see this as a danger to your culture, to your society, to humanity? Do you understand why Europe and Canada is opening up, especially Canada, is opening up their border so much? There's a huge deficiency in their birth rate. A lot of people who accept where the queerism is going, all of that limits their birth rate. The free will abortion, a lot of things limit their birth rate. And the Canadian population is getting older, just like in Europe. Yeah. So by all means, they need a lot of people to come in and take on a lot of the vacant jobs. This is how damaging it's been showing to them already. It is exactly the same circumstances that they are enforcing upon us. It is also one of Bill Gates' depopulation of the planet. But just like how Andrew Holness would have add on, stronger together, thank you very much. Just like how Andrew Holness could have add on, so don't go further on the veranda. Bedroom, living room to veranda, don't step off of the step. And couldn't step off of the step. You have to turn up on the step. And couldn't move. Because Andrew Holness says, no movement there. Just like how I see some people are say, once police give way an order, we follow it. Says who? If the order is not lawful, I don't have to follow it. Well, if you want to follow it and go sue them after and go spend one money and the case not get nowhere in a court, I will challenge them over my rights. Done it. How are you? To question Jamaicans, parent, on entertainers, on a bad man, on everybody. Why on make gay people are opposed against this thing publicly and on sit down with a mouth shut plum? Who not afraid of? Who said you're not allowed to talk? Who said you're not allowed to question? Who says you're not allowed to demonstrate? Who said that you're not allowed to write your MP seeking information or venting your disapproval? Who said so? You just sit down and wait to be sold off. You just sit down and wait to walk back into slavery, just so. If we were sold by our ancestors from Africa, Ubuntu, our very own in Jamaica is selling us back to the same people, them again. Colin Richards. So, no sister, we're still property. We're still property. We still belong to somebody. We still belong to an organization or a corporation. Because people can make decisions for you. And people can cut deal on top of our head. Without us even having any information about these deals. Especially these satanic deals that they're signing away your rights, your culture, signing away common sense, and it's pandering to a queer society who wants everybody to be like them. And if you have to change society to make them feel comfortable, because this is an agenda with a lot of queers at the top. We have their money. We can turn government, because a lot of these puppet government have to accept this queer agenda from those 1% of queer at the top. And then they confuse gay people to push that narrative. Because as I explained to you all before, in my view and in my experience, there is a difference between gay people and queer people. Gay people are just gay people and they understand who they are. Queer people are the man them who want to put on frack today and go in a woman toilet and go rape woman, or the man them who want turn the woman them who want turn man tomorrow and all of that, or the man them will rape woman, and when they get sentenced for that prison, they want to go to a female prison. These are the ones who are causing the confusion. The one where you don't know if you call them. Because today they can approach you in a beard, wig, and makeup, heels, and skirt. That's not a gay person. That is a queer person. And them something there. That's the agenda that has been pushed. The gay agenda there a long time. And it never costs what it's a cost. People have always been outspoken and critical. But everybody seems to be silenced because government and authorities want to silence everybody on the square agenda. We don't have to accept it. We don't have to fall for it. And as I said, I don't know how the education system is in Jamaica in regards to taking your children out of school and having them homeschooled. But as I said, those of you in Britain here, take your children out of the education system. You still can get the government funding allocated to them for them to get their home tutoring. There is a wealth of confusion in the schools. Because if it's so terrible in the workplace, where today my colleague can turn up, just like a man, I still cannot fathom how I refer to you, because even though you're just like a man, your mindset today, you may want to be referred to as Patsy. And that becomes very confusing in the workplace, because I can refer to you as Dave, and then there's a complaint to the manager that I'm homophobic or whatever, because I've refused to refer to you in your right gender, which I don't know which one it is on that particular day, is the confusion. I really don't know. Because sometimes the just code in the queryism, the just code sometimes does not reflect the mindset. And sometimes the mindset does not reflect the just code. Nor does any of those reflect the reference to gender. So you can't speak to them in a him or she. You have to look at one person and refer to them as they, is where the language is going. Who said you have to comply? Did you not hear the slogan in Britain during the lockdown period and all that? I will not comply. I will not comply. Have you ever heard that phrase? I will not comply. Will the people of Jamaica stand for something, or will they fall for just about anything them can drop on? We are being placed on the auction block. We have been placed on the auction block. Are you going to stand and be sold? Or are you going to walk off that auction block and rebel? Is the question. You've recognized more and more, we're recognizing how more and more we're recognizing how much our government have signed us away. And nobody's saying anything. This queerism, it's not as is it Kate M? Hold on, let me look back. Yeah. It is not just eroding culture. The very English language, the cultural aspect of the English language, the language is culture. The cultural aspect of the English language is eroded under this queerism. Because of this queerism, you can no longer say he or she, him or her. You have to refer to them or they. There's a way in which you have to speak in order to appease the queer community. Who says you have to comply? Who says you have to comply? Will you stand for something? Is my final question. Or will you just fall for anything? That is simply what I want to ask tonight. Thank you all very much for being here. And I hope for those who may watch this show after, Jenny, how are you? They can ask themselves. They can ask themselves, do I stand for something, or do I just fall for anything? Like and share the live, please. And let me say to you all, I've created a brand new channel. I'll be streaming a funeral coming up soon. This is in London, somebody from my community. RIP to Uncle Winston, and my condolences to the Evans family from Spice Grove. But I've created a separate channel, the new channel, Global TV Group 385. That channel will just cater to events, funeral, or others that I will stream from time to time. The others that we normally broadcast on a daily basis will continue to do so, but we are in the business of streaming events such as birthdays, christening, funerals. So if anyone wants to have such events streamed, then by all means, they can get in touch with Producer Wayne. All our contact information are out there, and we now have a separate dedicated channel for when we are streaming events such as funerals. So we want to keep event separate to our daily broadcast. So we have to give thanks and be grateful. The brand is taking its own time to grow. We like to take the journey fairly and squarely. We don't want to take no shortcut. Every middle, make a muckle. And when am my time? It is my time. Thank you very much, and good night from Global Television.